Well, hi again, folks. I'm Greg Flynn, the Public Information Director here for the City of Pearl, and welcome into This Week in Pearl. We've got some really cool events going on across the city, and we want to let you know what's going on so you can be a part. First, the Pearl Parks and Recreation Youth Football and Cheer registration is still open. They have another great season of learning, skills, having fun, and dominating the other Rankin County teams. So sign your young players and cheerleaders up to be a part this year. All you have to do is go to pearlparksandrec.com to register, or if you have questions, call Alex Boykin at Parks and Rec. His number, 601-932-3541. The Pearl Community Theater has another production they're about to launch. It's called The Drowsy Chaperone, and it's going to be held on Thursday, July the 28th through Sunday the 31st. The show will be at the Pirate Auditorium on Marianne Drive between the junior high and the lower elementary. For tickets, you can go to the Pearl Community Theater website at pearlcommunitytheater.org. The Wildlife Extravaganza is back at the Muse Center this year, and it's going to be Friday the 29th of July through Sunday the 31st. It is a huge event for hunters, campers, kids, and those that just love the outdoors. For tickets, visit the Mississippi Wildlife Federation online at mswildlife.org. The City of Pearl is super excited to announce a new concert concept that we've come up with called Music at the Muse. The city, in partnership with Hines Community College, will launch its first concert at the Clyde Muse Center right here on the Rankin campus in Pearl at 7 p.m. on Friday, September the 16th. The show is going to feature the frontmen. That's Tim Rushlow, formerly of Little Texas, Larry Stewart of Restless Heart, and Richie McDonald, formerly of Lone Star. There will be an opening performance by special guests, Mustache the Band. They are the world's most powerful 90s country party band. All tickets are $20 for general admission, open seating inside the Muse Center. You can go to eventbrite.com and purchase your tickets right now. Our spotlight this week is going to be on the Pearl Public Schools and their new superintendent, Mr. Chris Chisholm. You'll recognize him. He's the former principal at the high school. Now he's taken over the whole district. Our interview with Mr. Chris Chisholm coming up.
Hello, I'm Mayor Wyndham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to gorgeous lakefront properties, there's a place for you here in Pearl. You can't beat the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl to enjoy a Mississippi Braves baseball game or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
Well, we are blessed on This Week in Pearl to be joined by our brand new superintendent of the Pearl Public Schools. He is Mr. Chris Chisholm. You guys may recognize the name. You may recognize the face from over at the high school, but now you're the grand poobah.
Thank you for having me. I sure appreciate the intro, and I appreciate you guys having me on today.
Well, what is the transition been like for you to go from principal of the high school to superintendent of all the schools so far?
It's been really good. It's I think sometimes, especially if you're an administrator in a building, you get locked into the problems in that building, and you just try to find different ways to solve the same problems almost every year. It's just trying to create different things that solve different problems. And I think the transition it's been good for me, simply because now I'm expanding into things that I haven't done before. Dealing with projects, and I've done a little bit of that at the high school, but I haven't been responsible for it. So all the projects that we're doing, being able to talk to principals, be able to talk to teachers in other buildings, just expanding that out and getting my feet wet in our buildings. I've had some experience at junior highs and elementary in the past, however, not necessarily here, other than just dealing with them as colleagues. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun dealing with our board. They've been a lot of fun to just sit back and spitball things and say, hey, what about this? Here are my ideas, and listen to some of theirs as well. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, we're going to get into some of the, what makes, you tick in the office. But I think it all comes from, your family values that you have. So why don't you let the folks know a little bit, who is Chris Chisholm?
Well, I can start certainly. I'm married to my wife, Ashley. We've been married over 20 years. I've got a son, Cade, who just is a recent graduate from Pearl, who's going to East Mississippi Community College, following in Dad's footsteps and Mom's footsteps. We both went to school there. And then I've got, thank goodness, I am actually moving out of the high school building as my daughter moves into 9th grade. I think she's a blessing to be around. Avid volleyball player. She does cheer, and powerlifting, if you can believe that. Mm-hmm. So that's my immediate family. And I come from with educators all in my family. Believe it or not, my grandfather was the principal of a school back in the 60s, maybe even late 50s. My mother was a music educator for many, many years in the public school system as well. And my dad was the president of the school board for 16 years in Lowndes County, and he was actually the president of the East Mississippi Community College Board for another, 12 or 13 years there as well before he got in the legislature. So really, education has been in my entire family, especially on my mom's side, but my dad's done quite a bit of that as well. So I've been around it pretty much my entire life.
You are an SEC person, but you're not the SEC kind of person that everybody around here knows. You are a Florida Gator, right?
I am. I grew up a Mississippi State fan, believe it or not. We lived graduated from New Hope, so we were 30 miles down the road. And really, you had a choice then because it's on the same road. I'm 30 miles from Starkville, and I am 60 miles from the University of Alabama, and I chose Starkville. So I grew up a State fan, but the opportunity wasn't there to play when I played baseball at East Mississippi Community College, and the opportunity wasn't there at Mississippi State or at Ole Miss. And I happened to go up to a summer league in a wooden bat league in New York and played there all summer and just had an outstanding summer as a player, especially hitting, and got the phone call there from the University of Florida with a new coaching staff coming in, and ended up at UF for 2 years.
Well, it really, I've seen a lot of folks that come through the system and educators that are also sports lovers, mm-hmm. right, that have been involved in coaching. It just seems like that is essential, that some of the best folks, your best administrators, were guys that led young people in sports.
Absolutely. I think you find that all over the state, and leadership is leadership. And I think good leadership is knowing how to manage other people. And, being a coach, you're managing not only your assistant coaches, but you're also managing a group of young people as well. So you get lots of experiences, especially early, in your coaching career. I was a coach for 12 years before I got into administration. So that is certainly a pathway that a lot follow. I probably am not and I want to make sure that I'm clear about this too, because what the MO that coaches get is they're not very good in the classroom, but I can assure you our coaches here are great in the classroom. Most people don't know this about me, but I taught on the technologies, on the tech prep side for a few years, but then I've also taught Algebra 1. I've taught compensatory math. I built an ACT and a PSAT prep program at one of my schools when I was the head coach. So I think the idea of coaches that don't teach, that has changed over the last several years, and we certainly hire some really good ones. But again, that all goes back to leadership, and that's leadership in the classroom as well.
I watch the way you get to interact in the school, with the students when you're at the high school, and it's like they're your family too. And I think the part of that goes back to being when you're a successful coach and a good coach, is you're seeing these kids outside of the classroom, but you find a way to translate that into your school building with all the student body.
Well, that's hard to do, with over 1,200 kids in the building, and I've got several groups that I meet with or I have met with in the last several years. I'm obviously transitioning into a different role, but that's a difficult thing to do. But I think also just making sure that you're out front, talking to them in the morning as they come in, and just asking about them. You try to build. Relationships are the most important piece of everything that we do in life. It doesn't matter whether you're in school or a business or anything else, but trying to build that relationship piece with any kid and every kid that walks in the door, or every kid that has a need, letting them know that the door is open. You just come talk to me. Sometimes I think especially in older schools, back in the day, and when I was scared to death to go to the principal's office, I wasn't going to go and talk to him. And certainly I never wanted my office to be like that. Kids can come in and talk to me anytime that they want to over any situation. It doesn't matter what it is. And I want to make sure that we build enough relationships that kids know that as well.
Well, and that goes back to, what I like about you guys will learn about the new superintendent is your common sense approach to things too. There's a lot of times where things look good on paper that come down from the state level or the federal level, but you have to make that fit for 1,200 kids, and now for an entire school district, and the kids better than the plans that come in, right?
That's right.
So you guys are very creative in trying to see what's going to be most effective in implementing, right?
100%. And the key is also having some really intelligent people around you too. It's certainly not just me. It has not been just me at the high school. I've been so blessed to be around some of the best teachers anywhere around it at Pearl High School, and my administrative staff. There's always going to be mandates that come down from the state and the federal government. It doesn't matter whether you like them or not, they're still going to be here. The key is using those smart people to figure out a great way to get those things implemented where we have positive outcomes for our kids.
Well, and the school district as a whole has done such a great job being A-rated that you've been able to. The toughest thing I think from an outsider is looking into getting the success from kids that are from all different socioeconomic backgrounds and ethnic backgrounds, and then just bringing them together as one family when they're in that building.
That's right. And Pearl is just a big melting pot, especially the high school. And I'm sure all the other schools as well. I'm just getting to know them a little bit more. But the high school has certainly been a melting pot for the last few years. And there are only two ways you can go with this. That can either separate people, or that can bring them together and celebrate the differences. And I think we have done a good job. Our student body has done a good job. Our leadership in the school has done a good job of bringing people together to have one single goal, And again, I think that also expands leadership within the school with kids too, with teachers. If people have great ideas to bring our school together, such as the canned food drive, such as the, when we, the Mississippi Blood Services, when they come out, we win an award almost every year for giving blood. We give more blood at our high school than any other school in the state. There's just so many things that bring our student body together and bring our staff together, and again, I think that's what makes us different here in Pearl, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, the one thing that seems to bring everybody together is about to come up, and you know this well, high school football and Pirate football, and it's about to be here, and you're walking in, you're going to be able to, I don't want to say take credit for it, but there's some pretty cool new things at the high school football field. You want to let the folks know about it?
We've got a few things going on. There's going to be a nice new scoreboard that's being put up right now. It will be the largest in the state, which is that's also going to be fun. It's going to be on the other end of the football field. It's going to I'm sure it's going to take a little time to get adjusted to that, but it's going to look really, really good. That's going in right now. We've got some bricking going up around some of our concession stands as well. We had the old style brick out there. We're actually getting it bricked, and it looks really, really good. That's going in right now. So it's really just getting those things put in. We're putting in a training room at the football field as well. That's updated with all of the equipment that we can have for kids to have the recovery that they need, after lifting weights or after a tough practice. So we're getting a few things in for that as well.
Well, Pearl has always been the trendsetter. We started the arms race of high school football scoreboards because we were the first one to have a video board. And then everybody started to catch up a little bit. And then before you guys wanted to jump and just say, okay, we're going to upgrade, you guys have waited. And now it's going to be the largest. So now you're going to reset the arms race, right?
We are. That's the plan. But, it's such a I'd like to say it's resetting the arms race. It's what we want our community, we want our kids, we want the people that walk up to any event that we have. I don't care if it's football, basketball, track. We want to have the best. We want to have what our community expects for our kids, for our coaches. I think that's a big selling point when we have bring in teachers, or we bring in coaches. Or we've got 600 houses going up here in Pearl. We want families to come in and drive onto the campus and go, wow, look at this place. This is a place that I want to send my kids. And I think you only get that one chance to make that first impression. And I think this helps with it.
Well, and it never hurts when you can get a little puppy to start drooling that lives on the east side of the county. So they may be a little envious after they.
That'd be great.
Now that you're going to have to transition from focusing just on the high school, you've got some great other schools. I mean, starting all the way down at the ECEC as they transition into the lower. So can you talk about some of the projects at those other schools that parents can look forward to as we enter a new school year?
Well, we've got a few projects going on at just about every building, but I will tell you one of the biggest things that we are working on is safety at every school. We've applied for several grants. We've gotten a couple of those. We don't know what the money, what that looks like, but we have some ideas on some things with safety. I have already sent our administrators to a training. I actually went through it a second time myself with them at Boondocks for an active shooter training. I know that's certainly at the forefront of everybody's mind, safety in schools, and we're doing some things safety-wise. You will see some projects going on over the course of the year, hopefully with some of that grant money as well, as far as safety goes. We've got some landscaping that we're working on at Northside. We've got at the lower, we have new flooring going in. We have at the junior high, we've really gone in and gutted the place, just to be honest with you. It was old. It was old, and we've got new ceilings, we've got new ceiling tiles, we've got new floors. The plan next year will be, if we can make this work, is to put new floors in the classrooms as well, but you will see brand new floors in the hallways. It's gonna look a lot better than it did before. Again, we want people to walk in and go, wow, look at this place. And I think you're gonna get the wow factor at the junior high whenever we're done with those projects. We've got, LED lighting's going up at our athletic facilities. Hopefully that will be done at the football field. That should be done hopefully by the beginning of August. We are doing an LED lighting project in the entire district. So that's at all buildings. We will be starting, since we're already doing some things at the junior high, we're going to start with that building, putting LED lighting in. And certainly that's cost saving for us as well. So you'll see several projects going on. If you stop by the high school, you can see where we used to have some of those trees that sat out front, and we got a lot of those cut down, but they had buckled the concrete, and all of that has been replaced. That's something that we got done this summer. We're looking at potentially building a new multi-purpose building at the junior high as well. So we're in the beginning stages of that right now with some ESSER money. So there's a lot of projects going on in the district.
You mentioned one thing I wanted to go back to, and you talked about safety and your commitment to safety. We see, the bar has lowered. I don't want to, no other way to say it is that it's like when we see things happen on the news around the country, no longer is it just the high schools, right?
Oh, no.
It's unfathomable to think about what happens at these elementary schools. But one of the things I know that you can probably talk about is we have such great. Nothing is 100%, right?
No,
but we
never.
have such great plans in place. You have great technology. You have great resource officers.
Absolutely.
That I don't want to say it can't happen here, but it would be stopped quickly here, and the parents should have the confidence to know that.
100%. Some of the things that you see and hear from Uvalde and these other places, our plans are very, very different here. You don't have to, I'm not saying you never should have to worry about those things. Obviously, that is at the forefront of everything that we do. However, we have really good, solid plans at every single place, and that's plans not only at the school level, but also with the police, that's also with fire, that's also with EMS, that's also with the city. There are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't know and understand about the safety side of things, and we're realigning all of those plans this summer. Officer Jenkins is now going to be our lead SRO in the district. He is working with every single school in the district to make sure our plans are where they need to be.
That is excellent, and just reassuring for people. For parents to know that you can send your kid, and the hope of every parent. We never used to have to think this, right? But I don't want this to be the last time I see my kid. That when I send him to school, I want him to come home from school.
That's right. And again, we've got such a great partnership with the city. You know, we've got an SRO at every building. And again, we've got some plans in the near future. Can't go into too many of those right now, but we've got some things that
well, you don't want to let them know. You don't
well,
want
it's not even that. It's just we've got to make sure that funding's there for the things that we want to do. But again, we are in the stages of upgrading a lot of that. But I will tell you that every principal in the district is meeting with the city, police, fire. We have got really, really solid plans at every single building here. And again, we've got a great partnership with the city, so we have an SRO at every single building, and that's something that not every school in the state can, or not every school district in the state can say, but we certainly have that, and we're very, very appreciative of it.
Well, some of the other great benefits, and I know that parents have these questions. Because of COVID, I guess we had a bunch of free school lunches for the longest time,
did.
right? Will that continue?
As of right now, no.
Okay.
You never know what's going to happen, you know, and you know you're seeing some uptick in that in other states. We've had a little bit here, not so bad, but you never know what the feds are going to do. A lot of that's federal money coming down. It's not necessarily a state thing, so we'll see how that goes as we move forward.
And one of the hottest topics out there, school uniforms. Are they still, is it still, hey, send your kid how you want?
As of right now, that's the way it is. That's the way it's going to stay.
Is there, you know, have you gotten the feedback? At the high school, you didn't have to worry about that because all the kids could dress. But feedback either way from parents on that?
Really, honestly, don't forget, I really just took over officially as of
Well,
last
just what you
Friday.
hear.
But not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. The vast majority of the people that I talk to have said that they're, well, I say it's probably 50-50. Some really want it, some really don't. So I think that's just about every decision that we make. I think you're going to find about half that are really happy and half that say, well, maybe we could go a different direction. But I think, again, I think it's our job to make decisions that make sense, as a board, as a school district, that makes sense for our community, and what we expect in our community. So as of right now, we're rolling like we've been rolling.
All right, before we wrap it up, another question I had from parents. They all want to, many of them have asked, why do we start school back on a Friday?
That's a really good question, and really this is one of those times that it helps teachers. Typically that first day you're just setting the tone for many classrooms, and even though we're on an AB block schedule at the high school, we run every class on that Friday, all 8. So it helps them just get in, get the paperwork they need. They're really short classes, but then we can actually start school on Monday.
So more of an orientation.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's shorter classes on that day. Then we get everything oriented, and then we can actually start our regular schedule, the next week. It helps us on our end. Finally,
as you step into year 1 as superintendent, what are you hoping to accomplish? I mean, I know you want to temper your goals, but you're a very goal-driven guy, and so what are you looking forward to the most as you help lead this district now?
I think just to continually push toward excellence. That's something that Pearl has always been, has been an excellent school district. We are very well respected across the state, and just so you know, I mean, none of this is officially out, but we've made some tremendous gains from the COVID year to this past year, and the key is not taking your foot off the gas, continue to push, continue to get better, and really focusing on what good teaching looks like. What does good learning look like? We did a lot of really good things last year, and now it's just taking it to the next level. So that's going to be ultimately the main goal. Obviously, other than safety. Safety is going to be priority number 1. But after that, it is what are we doing in the classroom, and how can we do that better? And it's making sure that nobody gets complacent. Well, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this for 26 or 27 years, and I learn something new every single day, every single week. So we need people that are continuing to push to get better in the classrooms.
And don't be fooled at home. I mean, I know it was a 50-50 split at the time, but because Pearl made the commitment, I believe, to going back to studying in the classroom as much as possible, even during COVID, our kids are not behind like these other school districts across the state that did all their virtual learning, where I'm not really quite sure how much virtual learning goes on when they're at the house, but it was that commitment, I think, that really kept you guys on par, right?
I think it is. I think the learning loss here, we certainly have some of it. When everybody shut down, we're still trying to make those gains from kids being out for several months. That is a lingering effect. You can't just get over that in a week or 2. That's not how that works. So we're still seeing some of that, but in the end, we're back to being Pearl, and that's something to be certainly celebrated. I think those were hard decisions, but those were the right decisions, and ultimately, it's worked out for our kids.
Well, we certainly know that it's going to work out having our new superintendent, Chris Chisholm. Congratulations again. That's
Thank
great
you.
stuff.
Thank you.
First day of school, August 5th. You ready?
Ready to go, man.
It seems like the last school year just ended.
Every day.
Well, we will be back with more This Week in Pearl right after this.
Anybody can live in a neighborhood, but not everyone gets to reside within a true community. Our vast array of community organizations not only provide opportunities to give back, get involved, and come together, they create a sense of pride for our city and continue to help forge the community our residents are proud to call home. Doing better by working together. Community starts here.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of This Week in Pearl. We encourage you to stay informed all the time, and we have several ways for you to be able to do that. The number one way, sign up to have city alerts sent directly to your phone. All you have to do is text the word Pearl to 91896. That's the word Pearl to 91896. You can stay up to date on Pearl News anytime on our social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the name City of Pearl Government. And the best one-stop shop resource for the city residents? Well, that's cityofpearl.com. There you can turn in a citizen's work request, get answers to a lot of frequently asked questions, and the contact information for every city department can be found right there at cityofpearl.com. Once again, folks, that's going to do it for this edition of This Week in Pearl. Remember, the City of Pearl is a great place to live, work, and play, which is why we are known as the Jewel of the Crossroads.